Welcome back to the channel, you guys. Hope you're having a great day today. Well, here it is, the brand new Pearl edition of the Positive Grid Spark amp. And as you can see, this version is wrapped up in some nice white Tolex with gold piping and of course that really nice clean woven front face of the Spark. So today we're going to go through some of my favorite beautiful tones on the Spark. Now the Spark is one of the most popular practice amps out there, and for good reason. It just does so much stuff. You basically have access to unlimited guitar tones online that you can download to your Spark unit. It can even listen to music and tell you what chords are being played so you can practice along. It can queue up backing tracks for you to practice soloing, even just like drums and bass for practicing rhythm and your timing. It just does so much stuff. So as I mentioned, we're checking out the Pearl edition today, which is just a nice refresh of the original Spark. So if you've got kind of like a black and white theme going on in your place, this will look great. I've always said that about the Spark, whether it's the black edition or this new Pearl edition. They're just so clean on the front face that they'll pretty much fit in anywhere, whether it's your living room, your bedroom, your music room. They just kind of look great wherever they go. Right, let's jump in and check out a few of my favorite beautiful tones on the Spark. In the past, I've focused mostly on overdrive, distortion, high gain tones. Today, we're going clean and focusing on the verbs, the delays, the choruses, some of those really kind of open and spacious tones you can get on the Spark. So as you guys can hear, the first beautiful tone is Lush with verb and delay. So I'll put on the screen the amps and the effects that I'm using. So the first one is a Fender style amp. It's the Blackface. Very nice, kind of clean platform. And we're using the Schecter Corsair here in the neck pickup. So it's very warm. So, you know, like 6 or 7 delays on there. So I'll put that up. So as you can see, we've got lots of time and we've almost have the same volume for our trails as our main signal. That's what the effect level is there. So if you want to kind of copy or kind of give yourself a ballpark starting point, you can use that. And then the verb we're using is the hull. And another little trick that I use is you can see the high cut is all the way off. That means we're getting all the high end kind of shimmer from the verb. And the low cut, as you can see, is all the way up, which means we're taking out all the kind of like lower mids that can kind of like make it really muddy. Now this is a pretty warm tone, but that's a little trick that I like to use as well, just to clean up the tone a little bit. So yeah, really nice. So beautiful tone number 2, also super ambient, super spacious, but no delay at all. And we're using a different amp that gives us a little bit more clarity than that first Fender. So we're using a Vox amp. I will put it on the screen. One of my favorite patches. If you don't know where to start on your Spark, put that one up. It sounds great, clean, a little bit of dirt, more overdrive. That patch just sounds phenomenal. Almost any gain stage. Anyway, so what we're using is the Ambient verb. So again, I'll put that up on the screen. There it is, the Ambient. And as you can see, I did the same kind of little trick where the highs are not cut and the lows are very cut. So again, to try to just give you a little bit more clarity, especially when we're using like so much verb. As you can see from the level and the time and the dwell, we're using just so much, and it just gives it a beautiful, beautiful spacious tone. Yes, so number 3 for our beautiful tones is full of lush kind of chorus and warble. So what we got going on, I'll put it on the screen, is we've got our kind of Fender Tweed amp. Again, no noise gate, no compression, no drive, just the amp as you see it. Now the warble is courtesy of the cloner, and it's kind of got like a low depth and a high depth. I was on the low setting. It does get like crazy warbly if you go in the high. We've got a little bit of delay, as you guys can hear there. So much less than kind of like that first patch, but it just kind of fills it all out, which is nice. And then the verb is the holy grail. Again, you can see us cutting, no high cut, lots of low cut. And yeah, just kind of like a nice verb there. So a little bit of verb, a little bit of delay, and you know, some pretty good chorus warble. You mix it in with the Bigsby and you get like all the warble and kind of like modulation a person could want. And there's lots of different kind of like lush choruses, trems, and as you'll see, univibe. Now we're using the Matchless amp for this patch. It's a very, very warm amp. Even, you know, with the bass pretty much dialed out, as you guys can see on the screen there, it's still just a really great warm tone. So anyway, yes, we're using the Matchless, and we're using the Vibe for our kind of like that throbbing trem slash warble. Yeah. And it sounds fantastic. So we got the intensity way up and the speed about 12 o'clock. No delay on this one. And then we're using the natural hull verb again. I think that's one of the nicest ones. If you don't want to go atmospheric, it just gives a nice kind of smoothing of the tone. And I guess to just slightly modify it here, another great one would just be to use a straight up trem. So I'll throw that on the screen too. That's kind of like my alternate great tone. So that one, more kind of straight ahead trem, not as univibey or whatever. It doesn't have some of the swooshiness. But if you just wanted like a straight up trem, that sounds fantastic. Now, as you guys know from my previous Spark videos, this thing sounds great with some grit and dirt. I even compared it up against my big tube amp heads and recorded direct to the computer, and as an audio interface direct in, it sounded really, really good. But, you know, for the Pearl, I wanted to go totally clean and pristine. And even if you stripped away all the delays and verbs and choruses and all that kind of stuff, even just the clean amp models sound really good. So if you didn't want to go atmospheric, which I kind of wanted to show off today. Even just the clean amp patches sound great. So I hope you guys enjoyed the demo. I will link to the Pearl in the video description below. You can check out specs, prices, all that kind of stuff there. Big thanks to Positive Grid for sending one over to the channel. Really appreciate that. The rest of my information will be down in the video description below as well. Feel free to check that out. Other than that, have yourself a great day.